December 1979, the Soviet Union crosses into Afghanistan, aiming to prop up a faltering communist government. Elite airborne units land under a tense sky, signaling the start of a decade-long occupation. The Red Army asserts control, met with suspicion and fear from Afghan villagers. Meanwhile, Afghan resistance begins to organize, preparing for an unconventional fight. They rely on agility, knowledge of terrain, and guerrilla tactics to challenge the mighty Soviet army.
Across the world, the United States starts planning indirect support for the rebels.
Soviet air mobility dominates the skies, making every Mujahideen movement risky. The stage is set. A deadly proxy war begins, where knowledge of terrain can outweigh raw power.
The rebels exploit every ridge, using improvised traps to challenge Soviet convoys.
Despite heavy armor, Soviet forces face unexpected losses from guerrilla attacks.
The US provides covert support, arming rebels to sustain the fight. With rocket-propelled grenades, the underdogs strike fear into mechanized divisions.
Soviet troops try to dominate with night patrols, but the mountains conceal deadly surprises. Local knowledge allows the rebels to move undetected and control the battlefield. Even the most disciplined units are tested to their limits in these unforgiving terrains.
Each encounter proves, in this war, the mountain decides who survives.
The US begins clandestine operations, arming and training Afghan rebels with advanced weapons.
Every fighter is trained in modern infantry tactics, turning villagers into formidable guerrillas.
U.S. advisors guide strategy, selecting targets to maximize impact against Soviet forces.
Crucial weapons, including surface-to-air missiles, are delivered under the cover of darkness. These missiles give the rebels an unprecedented edge against Soviet air superiority. Silent communication ensures coordination, critical in guerrilla warfare.
Every movement is analyzed to improve efficiency and lethality in the field.
With training complete, the Mujahideen are ready to strike back against a superpower.
With training complete, the Mujahideen are ready to strike back against a superpower.
The Soviets respond with aerial power, deploying Hind helicopters to dominate the mountains.
Precision is attempted, but terrain and guerrilla tactics limit effectiveness. Ground offensives meet ambushes, testing Soviet discipline and resolve.
Every valley becomes a trap, every ridge a sniper's perch.
Aerial surveillance is constant, yet mountains hide thousands of unseen threats.
Reinforcements arrive, but each step forward is best met with deadly opposition.
Casualty evacuation becomes a race against time and terrain. Soviet firepower dominates, yet the insurgency endures, shaping a brutal stalemate.
With stingers in hand, rebels gain the ability to strike Soviet helicopters from afar.
The psychological and tactical impact of these weapons is immediate and devastating. Every victory boosts morale and demonstrates that even the mighty can be challenged.
Soviet forces adjust tactics, but the threat of stingers remains ever present.
These portable, shoulder-fired missiles
changed the dynamics of aerial warfare forever.
Even Soviet air patrols must adapt, wary of threats that were once unimaginable.
Mobility, stealth, and precision give the insurgents a new strategic advantage.
A single weapon alters the course of war, demonstrating that technology can empower the smallest force. In towns and villages, the war is intensely personal, with civilians caught in the crossfire.
Urban terrain favors the locals, turning streets into lethal zones for foreign soldiers.
Every corner holds danger, every building a possible trap.
Security is tight, yet the insurgency strikes unpredictably.
Quick strikes and rapid withdrawal become the hallmark of guerrilla warfare.
Local support amplifies the rebels' effectiveness and challenges Soviet occupation.
Air power cannot fully suppress a determined, hidden foe.
Victory in these towns is temporary. Insurgency adapts and survives.
By 1988, the Soviets begin withdrawing, facing a war they cannot decisively win.
Rebels maintain vigilance, knowing the fight continues, even as occupiers retreat. Civilians cautiously emerge, hoping for peace, but prepared for lingering violence.
Equipment and supplies are left behind, a testament to the brutal campaign.
Lessons are learned the hard way, in a terrain that punishes conventional warfare. The exit is orderly but cautious. The mountains remain dangerous and unforgiving. Nature reclaims the landscape, but scars of war remain visible for years.
The withdrawal marks a turning point, but the battle for influence continues.
Decades of war leave the nation scarred, villages destroyed, and families displaced. The U.S. evaluates the long-term impact of proxy warfare on global strategy.
Lessons for conventional forces. Terrain and local support can outweigh technology.
Across generations, stories and experiences are shared, preserving memory, resilience, and lessons learned from years of conflict.
Modern surveillance technology monitors terrain once dominated by guerrilla fighters.
The war reshapes geopolitics, marking a decisive chapter in the Cold War. The Afghanistan War teaches the world that in a proxy war, knowledge, terrain, and strategy often outweigh sheer might.